Joining me now is Stephen Mosher, author of Bully of Asia and president of Population Research Institute. Also joining me is Dr. Scott Jensen, family physician and gubernatorial candidate. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me tonight. It's funny, we do see all the time human beings thinking that they know everything and what could go wrong. But now we have a sense of what could go wrong. Dr. Jensen, when we think about gain of function research, Americans are hearing a lot about this phrase. What exactly is this that Fauci is such a fan of, and it doesn't think is at least risky to have to be worried about?
Well, I think Dr. Fauci is deflecting a bit, but frankly, gain of function has three things, not two things associated with it. One is it's an effort to try to make an organism more virulent, more pathogenic, creating a worsened disease. That's one. The other thing is gain of function would come into play if you were going to try to increase the transmissibility. But the other thing that matters quite a lot is that you're going to try to expand what targets that virus, that organism, that disease might target. So it's all three of them. And I think sometimes Dr. Fauci conveniently forgets that it also includes who are you going to target. And I think when we look at what Dr. Fauci has said along the way, it's hard to trust, because this is the same guy who said that we shouldn't wear masks and that herd immunity should be 60% and that wearing double masks after being vaccinated wasn't theater, but then later on he acknowledged it was.
Yeah, I mean, this is remarkable, Stephen. I want to talk with you about this as well, because these are very serious questions. We're only now kind of coming out of the pandemic. We've got vaccine questions, of course, and yet this is sitting in the background as we wonder about who funded this as we sent money in. And you've got Fauci's comment about the benefits outweighing the risk. What do you say about that?
Well, I say that our own medical bureaucracy, believe it or not, played a role in the creation of the deadly virus. I mean, as you mentioned, Tammy, Dr. Fauci back in 2012 was advocating gain-of-function research, despite the fact there was a moratorium on such risky research. So what did we do? We taught Chinese scientists how to carry out gain-of-function research in our own labs at Galveston and at the University of North Carolina. That's Fauci-funded research. And then to make matters worse, we actually sent money to China. He doesn't know how the money was spent. I don't. Money is fungible. We do know that the Chinese were very, very interested in learning how to do gain-of-function research, not necessarily for scientific reasons. I mean, Fauci was wrong to support such dangerous research, but his motives were scientific, right? He wanted to stop dangerous pathogens from nature.
Sure.
While Fauci saw a potential cure for emerging diseases, the Chinese Communist Party, I think, saw that new and deadly viruses themselves might be useful militarily. In my view, they deliberately set out to create deadly pathogens that they could release upon the world, and COVID-19 is a result of these experiments.
Well, that's what's so strange about this, Stephen, is that if we're recognizing that someone might be interested in changing a natural virus to be a bioweapon, why would you go to the Chinese Communist Party to do that research for you? And you've said that we're the ones that taught them how to do it. And then, of course, we have to presume that what they do at Wuhan is that it won't even accidentally escape. And yet there's clearly some dynamics where we've seen there's video of the researchers there handling bats with their bare hands, getting bitten, blood going everywhere. It seems to be a strange choice to cozy up to the Chinese for this.
Well, it does, and it really worries me that after the new administration took office, they quietly, secretly ended the State Department's investigation into COVID's origins. I mean, we have to uncover China's crimes. We can't help China cover up its crimes. And the fact is, last fall, when Mike Pompeo started this investigation, it looked like all roads were leading to the Wuhan lab. Yeah. And yet, why would we cut this off just as the evidence is piling up? I mean, the first three cases now of what appears to be the COVID-19 disease are lab workers from this Wuhan lab back in November of 2019.
Yes, indeed.
What does that tell you?
Yes. Now, Dr. Jensen, I want to bring you in here for a last word. As we look at now the questions that people are finally taking seriously, where do you think this leads in the end?
I think Robert Redfield, a couple of months ago, the former head of the CDC, he came out and said, you know, I have to reconsider what I'd been thinking. To me, that was a huge shot across the bow. He is basically telling us he's not buying into the conventional narrative. Dr. Fauci is the same guy that more than a year ago said that if someone disagrees with him, it's either noise or distraction. I think, frankly, you folks you're honing in on him, and he's getting nervous, and he's giving a little bit at a time. He's starting to feel cornered.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. That sounds like classic groupthink to me. I really appreciate your insight on this issue. Clearly, existentially important.